San Antonio, Texas, home of the Alamo, the beautiful Riverwalk, and the site of one of the oldest Christian missions in the United States. Since 1718, San Antonio has played a significant role in the emergence of religion in America. In August 1988, this city carries on that heritage as host of the first national youth gathering of the newly formed Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. Hi everybody, I'm Mary Hart. This is the courtyard of the Plaza San Antonio Hotel, and with me is Daryl Koenig, Director of National Youth Ministries and of the whole youth gathering here in San Antonio. Daryl, 21,000 young people, a mammoth undertaking. What does this mean to the church?
It is a mammoth undertaking, Mary, and hopefully what it's going to mean to the church is that we begin to build community for today as well as the future. One of the goals of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America is to become a church that is totally inclusive. We are not a homogeneous society anymore. We sponsored an event on Texas Lutheran College campus for young persons of color and white young people from inclusive congregations. There were 600 there. We also sponsored here in San Antonio an event for young people who were physically challenged. We've brought all of those young people into now the larger gathering, and this week what we are about is working on that aspect of inclusivity and saying that indeed we are one community in the kingdom of God, and that gives us reason to rejoice in the Lord always.
The enthusiasm is contagious, to say the least. 21,000 people. You know, that's greater than the total population of 18% of the cities in the United States. Over 500 volunteers from the 40 Lutheran congregations in South Texas have worked for the past year in preparation for this gathering. Of course, somebody has to go to all the work to make the arrangements here in San Antonio, and the man standing with me is Danny Hernandez, who has the title of Local Arrangements Manager. And Danny, I know with all of the work that needed to be done, this became a second full-time job for you. Why'd you do it?
Well, I keep asking myself that same question, Mary. When I first read the job description, I started to think about people who I could recommend for this position because I had a full-time commitment to my business. But I just realized that if I was willing to be willing, God would really give me the strength, the energy, and just the wonderful people we have in San Antonio to help me put this gathering together.
Many of these young adults have experienced the rewards of ministering to others within their own communities. The San Antonio Encounter is an opportunity to observe the caring ministries around the city. Over 30 organizations are opening their doors so that gathering participants can learn firsthand how others muster their resources for the good of the community.
How you doing?
It's been fun to experience this new culture. We're from up north.
I feel a lot closer to the people that in our youth group and the people from other churches that we came down with, and I met a lot of new friends.
If you see someone with help or that needs help, or if they see someone that needs help, people are always there willing to help them.
Anytime 21,000 people convene for a single event, it's bound to be a memorable occasion. And this evening, here at Alamo Stadium, everyone will gather for the celebration of El Camino de Cristo in El Mundo, the way of Christ in the world. This event is a dramatic presentation in a wilderness setting with music, lasers, dance, and drama. A spectacular light show caps the evening to reflect the movement of grace from God to people and the movement of God's people into the world sharing grace.
of Christ broken for you?
Really uplifting. We weren't expecting that. It was pretty wild. We weren't expecting like a rock band and all that stuff. It was pretty cool.
It was good seeing, all those people together.
Learning more about the Lutheran religion and having fun and
meeting more people.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, thanks.
Finding more boys. Finding more guys.
Fiesta de Cristo en el Mundo, or the celebration of Christ in the world, is another mass event for all participants. It emphasizes the global family of God. The fiesta provides a window on countries and cultures where Christians rejoice in the Lord in spite of atheism, racism, poverty, hunger, war, or oppression. This international celebration concludes with a colorful Mexican fiesta. Activities focus on Christian church festivals as they are celebrated in each country. So come take a trip to China, Egypt, India, Mexico, Namibia, Poland, and Russia. The celebration of De Cristo en el Mundo began weeks before the arrival of the youth. All counseling groups were assigned to study one of the 7 countries or cultures. Participants were asked to wear the native dress of their particular country. Despite their size, youth gatherings are very personal events. They're a time to explore your own interests, even in a crowd. They provide many opportunities to get in touch with yourself and your peers. After all, that's the first step of learning how to rejoice in the Lord always. 75 workshops, forums, and small discussion groups are offered every afternoon. Participants learn new skills. They get ideas for their own youth ministries and broaden their own awareness of issues facing Christians in the world today. The forums include dialogues and panel discussions with experts from around the country, resources that are not always available to most congregations.
Hallelujah, we sing your praises, all our hearts are filled with gladness.
In every community, there's one place where young adults can hang out. In some places, it's called meeting at the malt shop, scooping the loop, dragging Maine, or just plain mauling. But no matter what you call it, it teems with activity. In this youth community, the 2 major exhibit halls of the San Antonio Convention Center have been converted to Holy High School. The school's mascot, Holy Cow, is the personification of an exclamation about the scope of the activities going on under one single roof. There are activities and exhibits on everything from art, drama, and music to computers with other high-touch, high-tech involvement. The Social Studies Department explores world issues, our nation's economy, the search for answers to deeper questions on social issues closer to home, homelessness and hunger. Here you can learn how to be a better caretaker of our earth and keeper of your own medical and spiritual health. Meet people from NASA. Learn more about AIDS, eating disorders, stress management, teen pregnancy, as well as other issues in the science and health departments. Holy High is where the action is. Check out the Sports Dome. Many groups have their own teams for volleyball, basketball, and soccer matches. Holy High even has its own radio station. Standing here smack in the middle of Holy High, and this is really the great opportunity to have a chance to talk to some of the young people and get their responses and their reactions to what's been going on this week. Hi there. What's your name?
Serena Thalaker,
Serena, where are you from?
New Haven, Indiana.
New Haven, Indiana. So you came a long way to be here this week in San Antonio. What do you think you're going to go home with in terms of what you might have learned, things that you might remember for the rest of your life?
Probably that there's like all these kids that got together, in this fellowship and stuff. I didn't realize that there were so many people that would come down here and do it and they'd have a great time.
I thought it was going to be really cool because there's going to be so many people, all going for one thing and for Christ.
Well, I think the most important thing to me is that I've learned a lot about myself at this convention through the lectures and the workshops. It's been a lot of fun.
Hotel life is a vital part of community building at gatherings. 44 hotels throughout the San Antonio area provide a home away from home for everyone. For many, they're a welcome relief to the showerless church basements that are stopovers on the trip to the gathering. Each hotel has a team on call for guidance in emergencies. 2 people on that team are a pastor and a young adult who have volunteered to make each hotel a special place. Anytime large groups of people get together, there is bound to be some kind of a crisis. Small group facilitators are available in all of the hotels around the clock for that very purpose. A 24-hour hotline is also available to gathering participants. Hotel facilitators and hotline operators know where to find help for any number of problems that may arise. And the two people in charge are with me right now. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It is Dorothy Green and Lauren Vance. Nice to have you here to talk about the hotline, which is an extremely important element at this youth gathering.
Well, it has been indeed. Thank God we haven't had a big crisis where we really had to pull out all of the resources that we have, but we do keep a lot of little things from becoming much bigger, and that's our basic reason for being.
It kind of means that the two of you have to be on guard and on duty around the clock, but it must put the parents' minds at ease to know that there's somebody caring to all of the needs that might arise.
Well, that's our purpose. We're certainly hoping that it not only puts the parents at ease, but helps the counselors and the youth to know that there are people around who are caring about them and ready to assist them at absolutely any time for anything.
By its very nature, a youth gathering has a strong spiritual dimension. There are daily opportunities for worship and Bible studies. The theme of the gathering comes from Philippians 4:4-7. Rejoice in the Lord always. Dr. Steve Cornils, senior pastor at Central Lutheran Church in Minneapolis, provides continuity in the biblical theme throughout the morning programs. There are so many spiritual opportunities at this conference. We asked Dr. Cornils what his unique role is in the overall scheme of things.
I have the privilege of leading the Bible studies in the morning, and the way that I've put those together is by looking at the text, the Word, and the context, the world of the teenager. And I put those together with drama, and with music, and with clowns, and with skits. I like to do Bible study with a lot of help from my friends.
The morning mass gatherings develop the week's theme. 3 key speakers bring it into focus for gathering participants through their personal stories.
Our pastor, our prophet, our Christian brother from South Africa, our featured speaker for today, T. Simon Farasani.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Guy Dowd, 1986 National Teacher of the Year, reflects the struggle to learn to rejoice in the Lord as a person in Christ.
And there was a knock on the door.
Gary Wilkerson has worked at the Betty Ford Center in California since its founding. Gary is pastor of the ELCA, who specializes in the area of chemical dependency and abuse. Gary, you've taken time out. You actually work full-time for a non-Lutheran organization. Why was it important for you to use this as a forum?
I believe it's important because the youth of this country really need to be educated about this as a disease. And I was raised in the church and started in the church. And I've been involved in church events, starting with gatherings like these at Lutheran League, and they changed my life. And I want to be involved in that for others too.
This week is also the first triennial convention of the new ELCA Lutheran Youth Organization. I'm sitting here enjoying a few quiet moments with a man who hasn't had many of those in the recent weeks. He's president of the Lutheran Youth Organization, Carl Anderson. And Carl, you must really sense the pulse of these young people, but what does the convention mean to the delegates?
The delegate assembly will provide them an opportunity to express their concerns to the church-wide body. It will provide them the opportunity to discuss any issues that may relate to them. The LYO will be a common uniting link with all these 21,000 participants that they'll be able to take back and implement in their synods and regions and possibly provide another opportunity such as this gathering to occur in another 3 years.
I've had a chance to corner 2 very important people. With me are Dave Grafton, who is chairperson of the Gathering Committee, and Herbert Chillstrom, who is bishop of the ELCA. Bishop Chillstrom, when you look at the overall perspective from the church and its future, how do you feel about the youth gathering?
I think, Mary, this is a marvelous investment in the future of the church. I come to an event like this, and I meet people like Dave and thousands of other wholesome young men and women of the ELCA, and I say to myself, this church has a great future.
And I think it's also important for young people to, come together and find out that there are other young people with the same needs and the same problems, and that creates a strong bond of unity.
Rejoice in the Lord always, rejoice. I lift my heart to praise the wonder of the one who found me. Rejoice, let creation sing.
Rejoice in the Lord always. For 5 days in the summer of 1988, 21,000 youth of the ELCA have experienced many dimensions of rejoicing. They did it in play, in worship, in laughter, and in song. For all of the participants and for Lutheran Brotherhood, I'm Mary Hart.